Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to tonight's session. We are delighted to have you with us tonight and for the Voice Fusion session on how to build a club success plan. I'd like to introduce our presenter, Vaidehi Chitnis. She has been a member of Toastmasters for 3 years. She is the immediate past president of Princeton Toastmasters Club in Division F60. And she is the current area director for Division F60. Please help me welcome Vaidehi Chitnis. Vaidehi?
Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much, Anne, for that wonderful introduction. Welcome to the presentation on the Club Success Plan. Just give me a minute and I will share my screen with you all. As Anne has introduced me, I'm Vaidehi Chitnis, and I'm the immediate past president of the Princeton Toastmasters Club and the area director for District 38, Division F, Area 60 for 2025-26. Now let's begin with understanding the purpose of this wonderful presentation today. The purpose of this presentation is to understand how the Club Success Plan can help your club to reach all of your distinguished club program goals. It will also provide you a guideline to understanding how to build a very solid and comprehensive Club Success Plan, and also provide you with a strategy to not only engage your club officers, but also ensure club-wide buy-in. And what this will all do is it will help your club to have a collective and cohesive growth, because that is exactly what we want, don't we? But let's start with the basics, the steps to access the Club Success Plan. All you have to do is go to the login to the Toastmasters International website on this link, which I have shared. Just follow the nice and easy steps and you have accessed your Club Success Plan. The Club Success Plan is what I believe a strategy to achieving all of your club goals. But you would want to know, okay, how would this help my club achieve success? So let's do one small activity. Why don't you all list down the top 2 goals of your club in the chat box? And Anne will be looking at all the goals which you have shared with us. And in the meanwhile, I will go over why completing a Club Success Plan in Toastmasters will support your club success. The first thing which you have done when you have completed the plan is you have clearly defined your club's goals. That's the first and that's the beginning. You have defined what is your goal, who is going to be responsible for achieving that goal, what is the timeline, what is the DCP goal which is attached to it. You will find that once you define your goals so clearly, your club members can be very focused in achieving those goals. You will be able to track your progress and you will know whether you're proceeding in the right direction throughout the year. And where this will lead you is to attain your distinguished status, your select distinguished, or even your president's distinguished status, depending how ambitious you are. And I'm sure that you all will aim for the president's distinguished status. Another thing which will happen is when you share your plan with your entire club, they will know exactly what's in store for them during the course of the year.
Vaidehi.
Yes, Anne.
Would you like to hear what some people put in chat about your question?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. The consensus seems to be to increase membership, education, engaging programs, and meetings, help members become confident speakers and leaders, get consistent participation, retain members long-term,
Mhm.
get commitment from members to complete at least one level in their path. So those were the questions that are the priorities for the people here for their clubs.
Oh, perfect, because I have got everything covered. And that is why I will explain what exactly is included in the club success plan. And then I will address, I think, all of the goals which each and every member has shared with us. And I really appreciate you all taking the effort and the time to share it with each of us. So what are those goals, or what is included in the club success plan? The club success plan includes your committee values. It includes educational goals, training goals, membership goals, administrative goals. It also has a drop-down menu where the club officers who have contributed towards the plan can be selected, and they can get credit for completing that plan, which is really wonderful. And you also have an appendix at the bottom. What it does is the larger tasks are broken down into smaller manageable units where you define the task, who is going to be responsible for completing it, what is the timeline, and what is the DCP goal attached. So you have a very good overview of what the club success plan entails. The club success plan, the committee values, is the first section of the club success plan. The first point, or the first question which it asks you all, is what are the club executive committee's values? In this presentation, I have listed down, if you see, 8 different values which I felt are very important, but I would highly encourage you all to please work with your club officers and try to identify what values are most important to your club, because each club is so unique. So make sure that you know what your values are, what you want to follow. But let me go over the four which I think are most important. Now let me pause here and ask each one of you, how many of you know what are the values of Toastmasters International? You can post it in the chat. And while you do that, let me go over the rest of the values. I will get back to the Toastmasters International values in a while. So what you can include in this section of the plan is, you can talk about the high standards that you want to maintain by being very professional and ensuring the quality of your club. You can also include ensuring that you work with the best work ethics, being accountable and reliable in every activity that you take on. And since we want that all of our club members feel important and valued and feel motivated, inclusivity and collaboration are also paramount values which you can include in the club success plan. Some additional values which you can include or consider including are continuously improving, because we always want to get better and better each day, having transparency and accountability in your interactions and everything that you do in the club, having a very member-centric approach, catering to member needs and their goals because we are here for them. And last but not the least, teach by example, be a role model for your club. And let me now ask Anne, what did our friends share are the Toastmaster values?
Respect, integrity, service, and excellence.
Okay,
And
perfect. So,
actually, integrity, respect, service, and excellent, because Toastmasters puts integrity first.
yes, that's correct. So you all are aware of that integrity, respect, service, and excellence are the core values of Toastmasters International. So I would say that you should be including this in your club success plan and align the core values of your club with those of Toastmasters International. Yes, Anne.
There's a question in chat.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What is the benefit as club officers to express the values in the club success plan?
What is the benefit of the values of
Right.
yes. When we do anything in our life, right? it's very important to have your values and principles in mind. We want to make sure that everything that we do is of the highest standard. You do not want to be very mediocre or settle for less whenever we want to do something. We want to give our best, because if you want your club to success, you have to ensure that you work with the best work ethics. You make sure that your values represent who you are. So for that reason, I feel that including these values is very important.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And next, we go on to the second question, which is included in the club success plan, which talks about the interactions and the decisions and how decisions will be made. Now, let's see. Now, if you look at these people here, they seem so frustrated. And then when the club officer interactions result in productive decision-making, it's all a happy club out there. And here is where your club success plan will come to your rescue. What you can include in this club success plan section as to how you will have interactions which will lead to productive decision-making is you can have regular board meetings every month to deal with any normal or routine matters. For those matters or those the review which cannot wait till the monthly board meetings, you can have special meetings. Please bear in mind that you should be open-minded and receptive to different views and perspective of your club officers, because you will find that when you show respect, they will come up with so many unique ideas which you will find very helpful for your club. When you're doing all these things, be mindful of adhering to the deadlines set forth by your club and Toastmasters International. When I talk about deadlines, it would be the first deadline which is coming up, which is submitting the club success plan by September 30th. And we also have deadlines like the membership dues being submitted on time. So I'm talking about making sure that you include the deadlines and are mindful of it. Do not even hesitate to utilize a voting tool when you want to have a fair resolution to differing opinions. And then the third section of the committee values talks about resolving differences. Now, if you see my friends here, they are very unhappy and the disagreements are causing some issues. But we are Toastmasters. We always know how to work on our active listening skills and find common ground and then arrive at a solution. So what would you include in this section? I would suggest that you can include collaborative decision-making. Listen, be active listeners, find common ground. Always think about we and not me when you take decisions. Also ensure that you're very open-minded and receptive to different views and perspectives, and also promote camaraderie, because that will lead to a very friendly and constructive solution to your problems. The next section of the committee values talks about how your club officers will be held accountable for their responsibilities. The different ways in which a club officer can be held accountable starts from the basics, which is setting clear expectations. I don't know how many of you are aware, but on the Toastmasters website, there are very detailed rule scripts which define the responsibilities for each club officer. Go ahead and please download them, share it with your club officers, and have a discussion to clarify and answer their questions if they have any doubts. Have very informal and yet productive monthly board meetings where you can discuss their progress, discuss if they have any issues, they're facing any challenges, and you can find a way to help them. Always find a very collaborative way to speak to your club officers and help them to be very progressive and to be very proactive in even in terms of executing all their responsibilities in the club. And the next section of the committee values talks about member engagement. How will you keep your members coming back for more, attending meetings, taking on roles? I have included several suggestions, but I will go over a few which I think are very important. What helps members or keeps members coming back to every meeting is how you organize your meetings. Make them educational and exciting and enjoyable. Use different themes and find diverse ways of organizing your meetings. Send out your agendas early for role sign up so they have time to think about what role they want to sign up for. Encourage members to sign up for different roles in different meetings, and never forget to reward them for all their hard work and effort. These are some of the points which you can include as a part of this section of your club success plan. These are suggestions, but you can definitely add your own to it, depending on what is it that your club wants to achieve. These are two documents which are very important for every club. One is the moments of truth, and the second is the Distinguished Club Program and the 10 goals. I'm pretty confident that you all are already aware of both the moments of truth as well as the Distinguished Club Program. So I will not go over it in detail, but if I have to just summarize it, I would say if your club diligently follows all the guidelines which are included in the moments of truth, which starts from the first impressions when a prospective member walks in to when they are onboarded, and then how you keep them engaged with well-planned and well-constructed meetings, what you do to increase your membership, and what do you do to make them feel valued, and how do you recognize all of their efforts, is what is included in the moments of truth. In terms of the Distinguished Club Program, the goals from 1 to 6 are related to your members' progress in the Pathways program. Goals 7 and 8 deal with how many members have you added to your team this Toastmaster year. The goal 9 talks about training of your club officers, and goal 10 refers to submitting your membership on time, membership fees on time, as well as submitting your club officer list once a year in June. Yes, Anne, you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah, those 6 educational goals.
Yes.
What would your advice be to a new club, for example? What should be their goal? Because it's unlikely they'll have anyone reaching level 4 and 5. That's really hard to do in 1 year.
That's
unless
correct.
you're speed running through your paths, and then you're not really learning anything. So
Yes.
what would be a more realistic goal for someone who's just starting out with a new club this year? Would that be just distinguished?
I would say even if the club is new, we have a whole year in hand, and we have 3 distinguished levels, right? If you achieve 5 goals, which include where you're even mindful of the number of members which are necessary for the club to be considered to satisfy the membership requirement, then I would say you can focus on level 1, on completing level 1 and 2. I think it is pretty possible for members to move from level 1 to level 2 in the year, and then they can proceed, and I think they can even try to aim for doing even better the next year, because there is no limitation on a timeline within which you have to achieve all your goals, but you can definitely work on it every day so by the end of the year, you can aim to have 5 goals and be a distinguished club.
So actually, number 10 is pretty simple. If you just get your renewals in on time in September,
Yes.
by September 30th,
Yes.
correct? So
Yes.
that'll give me 1 point. And then if my club has 4 officers trained in the summer and 4 officers trained in the winter. I mean, that's the minimum, but we try to get at least all 7 officers. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so that'll give me another 2 points, right? Or just 1
That's
point?
correct.
1 point,
Yes.
1 point.
You'll get 1 point. So if you,
So
that
there's
will give
2
you
easy
1.
points.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Anne. I would like to now open the floor to any questions if anyone has on the committee values before we move on to the next section, which is the educational goals.
You
Yes.
can
What
come
is your
over
question?
mute
Yeah.
and ask. Yeah, there you go, or put them in chat.
Mhm.
Hello, hi, this is Toastmaster Riggins from the Finer Toastmasters Club. We are a new club. We chartered April 23rd of 2024. When we chartered our charter members consisted of 49 members. We are 100% virtual. And we are also members of a sorority, which is why we're looking to do some professional development. My question my question is about keeping officers encouraged. We don't want to coach officers out because they're volunteering their time, although they paid, to be part of this this public speaking platform. We don't want to discourage them. And I think some of the bullet points when I was looking at some of your tips, I think we rely on, because we're a new club, we rely on our mentors and our leadership and our chain of command to help us coach through that. We understand that we are a new club and it's a lot of responsibility, additional responsibility that everybody's taking on outside of their busy day lives, right? As well as other commitments that they have to the community. So we're just looking for more ways to help strengthen that commitment without discouraging. We don't want anybody to just say, you know what, I don't have to do this, I'm walking away. I want to make sure that they're in it, right, for the right reasons and understand what the responsibility is.
Yes, that's a very good question. What I would suggest is that, okay, I'll just give you my example. When I joined the club, when I joined Princeton Toastmasters as a member, I wasn't really aware of what exactly is this club success plan, what goes into it. But when I was in the second year, when I was VPE and I was on the serving on the executive board, I took interest in this club success plan. And initially, there's always inertia, or there is hesitation, or there is lack of clarity when it comes to the club success plan. But what you will find is if you motivate your members, your club members, club officers to take interest in understanding what the club success plan is, trust me, they will feel motivated and they will feel that they would love to contribute to it, because the moment we start reading through the plan, we find that it is not as difficult as we think it is. And the only thing we need is to just give it some time and effort. And that's what will really help them.
Thank you. You said, I think the $1 million answer was time. It's going to take time to adapt to some. This is new, right? It's not just new for one person, it's new for all of us. So thank you for that answer.
Yes, just take it in baby steps as a new club, because otherwise everything is going to seem to be overwhelming for your officers. And that's rely on your mentors, and they'll break it down for you.
I appreciate those tips. Thank you so much.
Malvina.
Yes. What is that?
Hi. Good evening, everyone. My question is really along the same lines. But if a new club doesn't have 20 members, or they have, 13 noted, but only 7 officers who are really consistent, or just a small base, let's say 5 to 7 that, are consistent in showing up and, trying to get things moving. I guess my question is, focusing on levels 1 and 2, is that where they should be, versus even trying to get to the 5? because I'm not real familiar with the club, but I know that they don't have a solid 20. I'm not sure, on the books they may have like 13 or 15, but I think that they have a solid 7 who are showing up for the meetings.
Okay. I would say it takes time. So when moving from level 1 to level 5 takes some time. So when you're a very new club, okay, let me even give my own example. I joined Toastmasters 3 years ago, and I am almost going to finish my level 5 this year in 3 years. So what typically I did was, in the first year, you will start with level 1 and then you move to level 2. And there are several sections to, as you know, to each level. So you will take some time by the time you reach level 5. So if you're a brand new club, I would say you will take some time before you complete your level 5. Anyone else
Thank
has
you.
any question? You're welcome. And now let's move on to the educational goals, which is the second section of the Club Success Plan. Now, the first question which is asked in this plan is Member Progress Worksheet, planning how you and your club can attain your educational goals. Now, these are some suggestions which I've included for, which you can include in this particular section. The establishing the educational goals. So how you can do is your president or your VP or even any other board member can reach out to every member to understand what are their needs, what are their educational goals for that Toastmaster year. Please try different ways of keeping them highly motivated and excited to pursue their, or rather progress on their pathways journey. Monitor their progress, have different charts and some kind of a spreadsheet where you keep a track of where members are at, because you attend all the meetings, members sign up for roles and for the speeches, and you can certainly keep a spreadsheet where you keep a track of when a member presented which speech at which meeting. So you would have an idea of where they are at any particular point of time. Also, regularly, and keep an eye on someone who's close to completing, say, level 1 and say completing level 2. And then you'll have some idea of where you're at in terms of achieving your educational goals. And lastly, in the Club Success Plan, there is a drop-down menu where you can click and assign a level to a particular member who wants to take up a challenge and complete a particular level. The second section of the educational goals talks about what are the obstacles which keep members from completing their projects. Now, we all know that when we really want to complete all our projects, but where there's a project, there is bound to be an obstacle, there is bound to be a challenge, but there is always a solution. And this is where your Club Success Plan will help you in terms of clarity. So what you can include in this section, these are few of the suggestions which I have, and that is generally the obstacles which are commonly faced by all of us is when our personal and professional obligations are rather hindering our progress in terms of our Toastmasters journey. There are time constraints. You do not have time to give to your projects. Sometimes it can also be procrastination. I will do this tomorrow. Maybe I'll prepare the speech later. I'll give it next month and then maybe next year. And another struggle, which could be, when your shy members are hesitant to give speeches. So they think, I will just keep it for next month when I feel a little more confident. And the last but not the least is a clear understanding of the Pathways program. That can also be a hindrance or an obstacle for people to move forward on their Pathways journey. The third section in the educational goals talks about how you will motivate your members to progress through the educational program. So yes, we are aware that we have challenges. We are aware there are obstacles, but there is also a solution. And that is when your club officers will brainstorm and figure out how you will find a solution, even though you are facing challenges with seeing members not progressing ahead on their Pathways program. So these are a few suggestions which I have, which you can include in this section, is do take the time out to have a dialogue with your club members. Try to find out what is holding them back. You can also send out very creative reminders or emails to encourage them to move forward on their Pathways journey. Highlight the benefits of Pathways, how it can build their confidence and experience, and how they can be very versatile and refined speakers. Another thing which I would suggest is definitely think and ensure that you reward them, those members who progress ahead on their journey, because then when you reward their achievements and recognize them, they feel good about it, and others are inspired when they watch them achieve their success in your club. Which comes to the next section of the educational goals, which talks about how does your club promote Pathways. You can find different ways in which you can promote the Pathways program. You can have presentations during your normal meetings. You can also have Zoom meetings during which which are separate and outside of your regular meeting hours, where you can have presentations for your club members. If it is possible to assign a mentor, the mentor can work one-on-one with your mentee and respond to their questions or guide them around the base camp, or guide them in the Pathways program as well. The president, when he or she opens the meeting, can promote the Pathways program as well. And the board members also can help the new members to guide them ahead in the Pathways program, as well as respond to any queries or questions they have. And the last section of the educational goals talks about how will your club prepare its new members to work in Pathways, and who will be responsible for showing them around base camp. If your club can assign a mentor, that mentor can, of course, guide the new member, but any experienced member of the club can easily step in and be proactive and just say, hey, let me help you with the Pathways program. Just give me a call and I will guide you. Or you can even have board members who can proactively reach out to that member, ask him, do you need any help with the Pathways program? Can I help you? We can have a quick call and I'll explain it to you. And as I said, have Pathways presentations as well throughout the year. And at this point, I would like to ask the audience whether you have any questions for me regarding the educational programs.
Vaidehi, can you explain why your slide, first of all, before we go into the educational questions, I may have one. Can you explain why the slides will not be shared?
The slides, what we are going to do is this, as you know, the meeting is being recorded, and the slides and the presentation will be readily available for you on the District 38 website, and you will be able to watch the video and follow the presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, is there someone there? Okay.
I thought I saw George Philip raise his hand.
Yes, George, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. My question is, we have a lot of members, new members come in. There's a lot going on in Toastmasters simply as a new member to get started and to understand how complex the organization is. And here you are telling us they need to work towards educational goals. There's this club success plan. There's the distinguished club program. How do you connect the members' interests in being a better speaker with these big objectives that the club is trying to achieve? What's the best method you found of making that connection so they're working to see the bigger picture?
Hey, that's a very good question, George. So let me come to how I felt when I joined as a member. When a new member joins the club, what typically happens is, if you see, they will come to the club. Their main intention is to just enjoy the meeting, and their goal would be to become a better public speaker, correct? At that point in time, they are not concerned with pathways. They do not have any idea what the DCP goals are, or they don't know what the club success plan is. But if the president talks about it, if we have pathways presentations, and we kind of show them that this is something which will help them and which will promote their growth, and it is something which is projected as something which is very exciting instead of cumbersome or difficult, I think they will slowly but surely be motivated to take more interest, because that is what even happened to me as well. In the first year, although I was not so aware of what the DCP goals were and what the club success plan was, but the more I started hearing it during the meetings, the more I wanted to know about it. And the more I came to know about it, the more excited I was to get involved. And then slowly you get to learn about it and then realize how important it is. So I think that is what it will start at, maybe at a point where you're just coming there to attend meetings, but gradually you will feel motivated to take more interest. Anyone else has any questions? Okay, now let's move. Yes, Anne.
I mean, this club success plan, man.
Yes.
It sounds overwhelming. How would you recommend that we as club officers tackle this? And do you recommend the president going through and filling it out all on their own? I mean, what would you recommend?
Thank you, Anne, for that question. It's a very good question. I would say the president can definitely independently complete the club success plan. But from my perspective, it will not really be useful to the rest of the club officers. And let me explain why. You would want your club officers to know what is the club's plan for the entire year. You would want them to take interest, because what you will realize is the moment you involve your club officers in the club success plan, although it seems very overwhelming in the beginning, when you actually sit down, you will realize that it is not as overwhelming as I thought. And what we found is, at least this is what I found last year when I was president, the moment I got my board members involved, in the beginning, they were a little hesitant. They thought it was overwhelming, but the moment they took interest, the ideas just kept pouring in, and I was impressed by the amount of the perspective they had, the ideas they had, and we prepared a very solid plan. So I think it is just that not knowing, which scares people, but once you take interest, you will find that it is the most easiest and the most exciting thing to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now let's move on to the next section, which is to do with membership goals. Let's first focus on the qualifying requirements for the recognition program, which are this year, as you the recognition for, or the qualification requirements for recognition program has changed. The eligibility criteria is to qualify by June 30th. Clubs must meet one of the following: minimum members, maintain at least 20 paid members, or a net growth, achieve a net increase of at least 3 new, dual, or reinstated members. In this section of the membership goals, it talks about what will your club do to motivate its current members to renew. Yes, your prospective member came to your club. You got them onboarded and they settled in, but you want them to renew. What about members who've been in your club for a very long time? How do you keep them motivated to continue with the club? So these are a few suggestions which I have, and I'll go over a few which are very important. Ensure that you offer value for your members' investment in the club. make your meetings exciting, well planned, well structured, so they feel that they look forward to coming and attending your meetings. And even provide or include educational workshops which will refine and enhance their skills, because it would be value for the investment in the club when they're learning something more. Have regular pathways programs, because the pathway presentations is something which not everyone is always aware of, and even if they are, it's good to revisit it from time to time, so that they are all aware of the options which are available. Ensure that you recognize members by way of giving them pins and awarding ribbons at meetings, and also award certificates, and also applauding them on social media, which will keep them highly motivated to continue with the club. And last but not the least, definitely foster camaraderie, a sense of friendship, a sense of being offering them a very supportive and safe environment. And this will all together motivate them to renew with the club. What is the club's plan to gain new members? I'm sure some of the clubs struggle with how do you get new members on board? These are few things which you can consider. Is nothing works better than word of mouth. Talk to your friends, to your colleagues, to everyone you know about Toastmasters. You are your best publicist for your club. Share testimonials, talk about the club to everyone. Another thing which you can do is have interesting team meetings. Make them so interesting and so intriguing that people are attracted to at least visit you and attend one meeting and see what your club has to offer. Hold at least minimum two open houses during the year to boost your membership numbers. Definitely go all out in terms of promoting your club on social medias, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. And in terms of corporate clubs, if you have any legal restrictions, then please work with your company to find out what are the different or alternate ways in which you can still publicize or give publicity to your club. And definitely give focused attention to any guest who comes to your club, because you have done everything possible to bring them to your door. And once they come, you have to make sure that you talk to them, make them feel welcome, and speak to them so that they want to join as new members. At this point, I would like to ask if anyone has any questions in terms of a membership.
Hello, I have a question. My name is Ricardo.
Okay.
Can I turn my camera on, or does it matter?
No, it's okay. You can go ahead and ask me the question.
Yeah, I guess from your experience, what types of things, events, or things you observed in Toastmasters clubs that raise the excellence of the club, and people are more likely are excited about it, or they want to join? Like, what have you seen in your experience?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. What I belong to the Princeton Toastmasters Club. So this is what I have found, and which has been really useful to attract more members. Is the first thing we do is we give our club a lot of publicity on social media, because there are so many people out there who wouldn't even know that your club exists if you do not give that publicity or market your club. And when I say market your club, is being very aggressive. I wouldn't say aggressive, but being very aware of what are the avenues where you can market the club. And once a prospective member arrives at your door, we have a greeter who will warmly and enthusiastically greet the guest who comes in. We also make sure that when they are seated, there is always an experienced member who sits next to them and talks to them, makes them feel welcome in the club, and they feel that they're already part of a family. The next thing which we do is the president talks to those to the guest and welcomes them and asks them what brought them there to the club. And also post meeting, we again ask the guest to stand up and share what they felt about the meeting. And if any guest shows interest, what they do is they also the VPM swiftly reaches out to the guest and gets them signed up as onboarded as new members. So these are simple things which we do, which makes a member feel motivated to join the club.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Pamela, you had a question?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Speaking of promoting your club, when you talk about social media, what platforms would you suggest a club use?
The platforms which a club, especially if it's a community club, I know there are, in terms of corporate clubs, it can be a little different, but if it's a community club, you have Facebook, you have Meetup, you have LinkedIn, on which you can definitely you can post your flyers to publicize your club. Or even after each meeting, what you can do is take pictures and post them on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and have your members comment or like those pictures. And what happens is that when the members themselves post beautiful comments about how wonderful the meeting was, it does its job. So these are all avenues that you can definitely think about.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then let's move on to the training goals. Now, we all know that of all the club officers have to complete both the core and the concentration training in both the training periods in order to qualify for a DCP goal. As we all already know, there are 2 training periods during the year, which are from June to August, and then from November 2024 to February of 2025. You need at least 4 club officers trained. But if you have all the 7 officers trained, you will earn incentives from the district. But the biggest struggle is, how do I motivate my club officers to even go for the training? Why should they attend the training? And this is where your club officers can brainstorm on what are the different ways in which we can motivate them and include it in the club success plan. So these are my suggestions: is highlight the club goals in terms of, hey, if all 7 of you attend the training, we can earn incentives and we will also be accomplishing our one DCP goal. A second thing which you can tell them is about skill enhancement, is that ensuring that you stress how important training is in helping the club officer excel in their role. The third thing which you can talk about is, when you train, you learn so many things that you can enhance your skills or refine your skills, and this will improve your ability to serve your club members better. And another advantage is knowledge sharing. Whatever you learn in a training, please share it with the other club officers and even with the rest of the members of your club. So these are things which you can definitely include as a part of your club success plan. Are there any questions at this point in terms of the training? Okay, then we'll move on to the administrative goals. So the administrative goals talks about membership dues and officer list. You will have to, in the club success plan, you have to designate a member who will be responsible for submitting the membership dues on time, which are twice a year in September and March, and also decide which club officer will be responsible for submitting the club officer list for next year in time. Because remember, when you submit your club officer list by June of each year, you will already be helping the incoming board earn 1 point in terms of the DCP goals. So make sure that you include that as one of your administrative goals. What are the obstacles in achieving your administrative goals? Now, this is something which I would say is every club is unique. So the challenges in terms of your administrative goals will be very different from club to club. But these are few suggestions which I thought I could include is having your treasurer and your VP membership working closely with each other. This is because your VP membership is the one who brings in a new member or who takes a part in membership renewals. And you can have the treasurer keeping track in terms of your bank account or how things are working, whether everything is happening on time. And in terms of a prospective member, your VPM or the VP membership can engage with a new member, the prospective member persistently, but without being too pushy or too aggressive. Social media, in terms of social media, the VP PR should definitely go all out and publicize your club. But it is important to also be very mindful of on which platform you are marketing your club. So just to be a little bit careful. And an SAA. So what can happen is sometimes because of the weather conditions or because of some problem, you may not be able to have or host the meeting, especially in terms of when the meeting is in person, in the same meeting hall. In that case, the SA should think about a different venue to host the meeting. And even in terms of online meetings, it could be possible that, oh, someone else is holding a meeting in your usual meeting room. So what do we do? Okay, find out another room in which you can still have the meeting and you will not be held up. So these are things which you can definitely include in the administrative goals. Does anyone have any questions at this point? Okay. So there are two ways.
Let me check in chat.
Yes. Okay, sure.
Expand. No, they're just making comments on the benefits and what the goals are. We consider the administrative goals the easy ones to complete. Nikki, you are right.
Okay.
Those are the cheap ones where like, these are not the no-brainer, easy 2 points to get or whatever it is, 1 point to get. And we always get those first. We like the easy wins when we can get them.
Okay. And now we come to a very interesting part of the presentation, and that is the two approaches for completing the club success plan. The first approach is the board meeting approach. And the second approach is involving the entire club. Now, this is something which I learned newly from Michelle Westgate, is that how to include the entire club in the club success plan completion. So let me first visit the board meeting approach. What can you include in this section of the club success plan and how you can work with your board to complete the plan and submit it on time? One thing which you can do is the president or VP can discuss the club success plan with all the board members. The SA can record it, and one of the board members can be responsible to actually key in all the details online in the club success plan and submit it. The second option which you have is you can assign sections of the plan and assign that responsibility to each club officer, and that club officer will be responsible for going online, completing that section and submitting it, and you are done. Reviewing and submitting the club success plan on time is also very important. Remember, the deadline is coming up closely. It's on or before September 30th, 2024. If you are not able to, especially in terms of new clubs or relatively new clubs, if you're struggling with, oh, what do I add in the club success plan? I do not understand, what do I have to include in this section? Please do not hesitate to ask or reach out to any experienced member in Toastmasters. I'm sure you all know so many experienced Toastmasters, and you can also reach out to me as your area director or your area directors or your division directors, and they are there to help you and guide you. And please remember that the club success plan, even though you submitted on September 30th, it is ongoing, revisited and updated as the year progresses. And maybe around January, you can think about, oh, okay, this is what we thought at the beginning of the year. And this is where we have reached. And okay, what do I have to change or update to my plan so that we do better at the start of next year? So it's an ongoing process. And in terms of club involvement approach, I would say, if it is practically workable, you can think about having the entire club involved. Now, how that can be possible is, the first thing you have to do is, because there is a timeline within which you have to submit the plan, so the club officers can work on the plan, review it, submit by 30th September 2024 and done. Next, you can share that plan or email the club success plan to the entire club. And at a regular meeting, the president can talk about the plan and ask for feedback. There are some members who might have brilliant ideas or bright ideas, which can prove very useful and helpful to the club. So definitely give that some thought. As I said, review the plan periodically and find ways to identify and address any member needs which can align with the club success plan. And just as we said with the board member approach, even in terms of the club involvement, where you want the entire club buy-in, do reach out to any experienced Toastmaster or the area or the division director, and they will definitely find a way to help you with completing the plan with the help of your entire club. At this point, does anyone have any questions for me? And now we come to the final tips to ensure you submit and complete a very comprehensive and detailed club success plan. To ensure that the club success plan is very effective, submit it on or before September 30th, 2024. Monitor the progress, whether you are proceeding as per the ideas or the goals which you have mentioned in your club success plan. Collaborate with your members to find different ways to enhance and improve the plan during the course of the year. Please, please enjoy the journey and progressing in the year ahead as per the goals you've set in the club success plan, and celebrate your achievements that, hey, we had this goal mentioned and planned in the club success plan and we have already achieved it, and it's only been 6 months or 8 months. So enjoy and celebrate that achievement, which is very important, which will keep you motivated to do even better. And with that, I come to the end of my presentation, and I would love to open the floor to any more questions if you have. And another thing which we can do is, do share your experiences with working on the club success plan in your club, or any suggestions or ideas that you think would really help people build a very solid club success plan, which will lead to their success. Yes. Yes, Melvina, you have a question?
Yes, my question is more along the lines of the flow of the success plan up to the, I guess, trio or whatever. As I serve as the area director, I've been communicating to the clubs, that they have to submit it, but I did not say that they need to send a copy to me. Does the area director get a copy, or do they just go directly to the top 3?
The area director, when you complete your, when you go to your leadership central and district central, and you're submitting your area director report, right? There's one, I think the second last column includes the club success plan for each club. Were you able to access that?
No, because I actually stopped the report because it started talking about the club success plan, which I don't have. The club success plan and the area director reports are all due on the same day.
Yes.
So that just a little kink, and that's why I'm asking that question.
You can even ask so you have 5 clubs in your area, correct? So what you can also do is you can ask them or request them to, first of all, you'll have to check with them whether they have completed this club success plan. If they have, you can ask them or request them to share the club success plan with you. And another thing which you can do is, suppose they say, hey, I did not complete my plan, I might do it later. You can list down the questions which are a part of the club success plan in an email, and ask them to respond to that email and share with you what are their goals. They can update it later whenever they want, but if you need this for submitting your area director report, and where you have to know what are their goals, especially like membership goals or educational goals, you have to ask and work with your club. You can definitely put it in an email and just ask them, as of today, okay, what are your goals? And just send it to me, update it in your area director report, and done. That's how you can work on it. So you can definitely get to see the club success plan for your clubs under your area.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.